I would like to start this week's Nap Corner by sincerely apologizing for Dan last week. It's okay. We've gotten through this. We're going to push on to next... Oh. Dan!
Hey.
Dan, whoa.
So, in light of the fact that it is National History Month, I thought we could celebrate with nachos!
It's not National History Month.
Wait, what month is it? October?
Yes.
Isn't that National History Month?
No, but I believe it's National Clergy Appreciation Month and I think bullying awareness.
I always mix that up.
What are you not wearing?
Oh yeah. See, I'm part Indian, and so my grandparents always tell us those like really cool Indian stories, like the one about Pocahontas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was watching the Disney version of Pocahontas the other day,
and
I saw that this was what Coco was wearing, and I was like, oh, this is totally cool. So I was like, why can't I dress like that? I'm an Indian brave, right? See, look at this. Isn't this awesome? You got those little, like,
no, this is unchaste. Go
what?
Put your clothes on.
Hey, but I'm expressing
Well, nope,
my...
Dan, go fix it. Okay. Whoa. I'm gonna eat these nachos and tell you a little bit about why that was a fail. Dan, come on. First of all, Disney, while awesome, did not get the story right. And second of all, Pocahontas never married Kocoum. Or John Smith, actually, which the movie led to believe.
Wait a minute.
And then they tried to fix it with
Pocahontas
Pocahontas
didn't marry John Smith?
Oh. She
Who
married
did she marry?
some guy named John Rolfe. I know.
Whoa.
Breaks the hearts of young children everywhere who thought it was a magical love story. Nope.
Yeah, they totally messed up that last name. Rolfe? Smith? Those don't even sound the same. So, after the Pilgrim's Progress, when the Pilgrims came across the ocean,
The Pilgrim's Progress.
Yeah. That's when the Pilgrims got on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Fe, and they came across the ocean. It's called the Pilgrim's Progress, right?
No. Not at all. The Pilgrim's Progress, Daniel, was a piece of literature that has to do with Christianity. The Pilgrims came over on the Mayflower. The boats you are thinking of are the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, which were sailed by Columbus. All right,
Who was like the leader of the Pilgrims, right? Or was he the one that like circumcised the world?
I think we need to have a bit of a history lesson.
Okay, well fine. Then I'll just read you what I have written, and you can tell me what I did wrong.
Alright.
Alright? Alright, so our first test this year was about ancient Egypt. And what I have written down is, ancient Egypt was inhabited by mummies. They all wrote in hydraulics, which are like the things that they have on the, you know, like the walls.
Hydraulics?
Yeah, hydraulics.
Hieroglyphics.
Okay.
You know what it would look like if you tried to write with hydraulics?
No.
You're dumb.
Hey.
I'm the beautiful, sweet,
We're not judging.
adorable. I'm not judging you. I'm just stating facts.
Pilgrims crossed the ocean on what was called the Pilgrim's Progress. The
No.
winter of 1620 was a hard one for the settlers. Many people died and many babies were born. John Smith was responsible for all of this.
A man can be born.
That sounds unchaste.
That's why he didn't marry Pocahontas. He was busy with everyone else.
No.
Revolutionary War was next. One of the causes of the Revolutionary War was that the English put tax in their tea.
Gerald, more tea.
And that would be really uncomfortable to drink. So the English, or the Americans, got really upset about that. But the English didn't like was that the Americans would send all of their stuff through the post without stamps. So finally, they started fighting over it. The delegates from the original 13 states formed what was called the Contented Congress. Because the United States were content, you know, with what they already had, and they didn't need anything from England.
Daniel. Alright, you eat the nachos. Let me check out this paper.
Okay.
Alright, let's go back down to music. Obviously history, not your forte. Alright. Bach was the most famous composer in the world, and so was Handel.
Yep. They kind of shared the title, you know.
Handel was half German, half Italian, and half English.
He was a really big guy.
Beethoven wrote music even though he was deaf. That's true. He was so deaf he wrote loud music. Mm-hmm. He took long walks in the forest even when everyone was calling for him.
Not to be confused with Helen Keller. Or Fanny Crosby.
All right, let's go backwards. Let's go to your Greek class. Socrates was a famous Greek teacher who went around giving people advice. They killed him.
I say we kill the beast!
Do you know how he actually died?
I think it was something about an overdose of wedlock. Seriously. After he died, his career, it was like, shoot. He didn't even have one anymore, pretty much.
For those out there who are stuck in wedlock, don't take hemlock like Socrates did. It's not worth it. Wedlock's a good thing. Greeks also had myths. A myth is a female moth.
Yep. You know, like a cow is a female cow, and a bull is a male cow.
Okay, and the Olympic Games, the Greeks ran races, hurled the biscuits, and threw the Java.
Well, like regular old Starbucks.
The Ides of March murdered Julius Caesar because they thought he was going to be made king.
Dying, he gasped out.
Tee Brutus.
Nice try, Rae and Dan. Tee was coined a long time ago.
This is so sad. All right, Nero.
It was scary. He tortured people by playing the fiddle to them. That is terrible. That is one bad fiddler player.
All right, you stay here. I'm gonna go get you the Encyclopedia of World History, and we're gonna double check some of these things. For example, the Magna Carta provided that no man should be hanged twice for the same offense. That would be really difficult. I agree with that. I don't think any man should ever be hanged twice.
No. Ooh, William Tell. He's like one of my favorite historical characters. He was that guy that stood on his son's head and then shot an arrow through the apple. That takes skill. I mean, of course, his son's probably more the hero of the story since he was able to hold his father on his head for that long. So who are some of your favorite historical figures?
Well, probably Shakespeare, because I love William Shakespeare.
Of course.
And I got to visit his hometown this summer. Do you know anything about William Shakespeare, Dan?
He was born in 1564, supposedly on his birthday.
Most people are born on their birthdays.
But he wrote a lot of like really awesome like genres. Like a lot of genres that we have today were written by him, like tragedies and comedies, hysterectomies. He has a special form of writing. It's called Islamic pentameter. And it's like a special form of writing that's kind of like poetry, but it's not exactly like poetry. It's actually worse, much worse.
Did you ever have to write poetry, Dan?
Uh-huh.
Did you ever have to write like sonnets or heroic couplets?
Ooh, like Romeo and Juliet. They were a heroic couplet. So were Lancelot and whatever his wife's name was.
Guinevere.
Oh yeah, her.
I also had to read recently John Milton's Paradise Lost.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one.
His second book was even better. After his wife died, he wrote Paradise Regained. So here are just a couple of other random history facts that I have picked up over time. Adam and Eve. Created from an apple tree.
Oh, no.
Solomon had 300 wives and 700 porcupines.
Concubines.
Karl Marx was one of the Marx brothers. Louis Pasteur discovered a cure for rabbis. Martin Luther was nailed to the church door at Wittenberg for selling papal indulgences. The Constitution of the United States was adopted to secure domestic hostility.
What? A lot of times when I have to write papers or just want to update a cool Facebook status, I'll put a quote from a famous historical person. Do you know any famous historical quotes? Okay. Give me one by Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin. A horse divided against itself cannot stand.
House and no, I don't think a divided horse could stand.
You're right. It would fall over.
What about a Shakespeare quote?
Arrows by any other name would smell as sweet.
Arrows?
Arrows, yeah. You know, like William Tell.
All right, how about
Although
you?
I've never really smelled an arrow before, so I don't really know what it smells like.
Okay, what about some biblical characters? What is the famous thing that Cain said? Abel's brother?
Oh, that's right. Am I my brother's son?
Okay. Give me a quote from Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States.
Oh, there was this one. Okay, I think Abraham Lincoln was also the most confused president of the United States because he had this quote that went on for like ever. It was like, you can fool like half the United States like some of the time. You can fool like a third of them like 3 times 4 of the time, but you can't fool all the people some of the time. Only when you're like actually the president, because you can lie to them and you can cover up your lies, and then you get impeached like Bill Clinton. But I don't know. His quotes were just really confused and weird.
I don't think...
It probably has something to do with him writing most of his speeches on the back of letters and envelopes. I think it would get really confusing.
But he hid all the secret passwords in his hat. That's why it was so tall.
Really?
No?
Oh, I gotta add that to my paper. Thank you so much. My teacher is gonna love this.
Really, I'm just really glad that you will be around here at college with me for many, many, many more years.
Me too. Hey,
so many years.
and guys, if you ever need help on any of your history papers, check out Wikipedia. I found out it's like the greatest source ever.
While I go give Dan a little tutoring lesson so that he doesn't have to retake history again. You guys enjoy. Have some good Mexican cuisine sometimes this week. Appreciate
Even though it's
your...
not National History Month.
Yeah, go appreciate your clergy and...
Don't bully anyone.
Yeah, stop some bullies from being jerks. Happy trails!
And then Pocahontas said that. Or was that Sacagawea?
Dan,
What?
what are you doing?
I'm trying to finish putting up the rest of these things on the wall.
Dan,
You're running out of tacks, though.
Tax?
Yeah.
Dan, what are you doing? No, this looks terrible. I thought we talked about this redecorating.
No. You can't do it with anything else. Tape won't work.
Why not?
Tape fails, okay? You know what Mark Twain said? There's only 2 certain things in life: death and tax.